alright, we got a mic test here. Good gracious. Wow, I apologize for that, guys. So, literally, my Streamlabs software decided to update right at the start time, and I tried to disable it, and nothing happened. So, if anybody bailed, it looks like I got 0 viewers here anyway. So, we'll see. We'll wait here a little while longer and see what we got here. See if the audio is working out too. I'm gonna turn this up in the background, see if I can get a mic check here. So mic check. Mic check. Mic. Looks like we got a dead mic. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Man, it's hard to tell if we got. So we got one viewer. Viewer, who we got here? Can you confirm if you can hear anything or not? Because I'm showing audio coming through, but at least on this end, I'm not hearing much or of anything really. Okay, it's going through. Good. All right, guys. Well, one viewer, sorry for the late start there. Anyway, we're going to do some Series 2, and also we're going to hosting just a Q&A. For anybody that want to join in, we got a lot of stuff going on with the hobby. Obviously, we've had the recent increase of PSA and SGC. So it's going to do a couple of different things, in my opinion. And I figured we'd wait a little bit here and let some people jump in. I'm going to get into this box here. Turn this over just a little bit. There we go. And then as people come on, like I said, as questions come through or anybody wants to comment, I'd be happy to answer those. Kind of give my perspective on it. I think there's going to be a lot of good that comes at it, but there's actually going to be some bad, negative, detractor, however you want to word it, for some certain people that are involved in the hobby. And that's unfortunate. But I think that the hobby had come to a point to where something like this kind of had to happen to where, let's be honest, we've come to a point to where people that weren't necessarily hobby enthusiasts, they were just found out a way to make a quick buck and do it with, almost no effort, no business skills. If they had an eBay account and could drive to the local Walmart, right, they could make some money. And so I was actually kind of amazed that it kind of took this long for something like this to happen. Not that I wanted it to happen, but, when you've got people out there that, let's be honest, maybe aren't the most hardworking people or are always looking out for the quick or easy buck, something like this can happen. And it has. And like I said, some people unfortunately will suffer for it, but I do think the suffering will be temporary. And when I say temporary, I mean there will be a period, right, that I'm going to call at least 6 months to a year, to where we'll have to wait for some of the what I call reactability, or basically the market changing things, to where the people that weren't necessarily highly involved, kind of maybe your average, you call it normal day-to-day collector, who liked to buy cards when they could and maybe submit a couple cards when they could to get graded for their personal collection. That's the person who's gonna have the most negative impact, right? The guy or the gal that's got a limited budget, but loves the hobby, will buy packs, is loyal to it, and like I said, will grade 4 to 5 to 10, 20 cards a year for their own personal collection. That's the person, unfortunately, is going to suffer the most. And it pains me only because that's who I was, right, at one time. That's who we all were at one time, right? For me, 30-something years ago, I was a kid, working on a part-time job at 13, a little bit of allowance to go out and buy cards. Like I said, to buy other things, but I always had some money aside to go to the card shop and buy some cards, and that's what I did. And I think there's still a lot of kids that are probably in that same position now, but there's also a lot of adults who had a limited budget, and in terms of you buying stuff and grading things. But anyway, I'll digress a little bit here. We'll get into some of these cards. So Jumbo Series 1 2021. I love the set. Love the border, love the 70th emblem. Downside is I think the print or the font size of the name, very tough to see. Especially if you're getting a little older in age, it can be yeah, tough to see anyway. So anyway, we'll go through these here. We'll put our rookies aside. Looking for obviously short prints. We've done a hobby, and I'm trying to think if I either missed a short print in the hobby or we didn't get one. We did get a vintage stock and a couple other different. We got a black out of there. I know color is very, very hard to find this year in this year's set. So yeah, if you're so the good thing is about jumbo is that you do have the guaranteed gold foils, which I think we got one coming up here. So really looking to hit some of those and see what we get. There's a Scoball, Future Stars, Nico. Kind of interesting pose too, kind of like right there over the helmet kind of look. There you go. There's a Mount Castle. Senior Correa. I'm gonna have to open a window here, guys. It cooled down. It's one of those days where you run the AC and then it cools down outside, and then your thermostat ain't gonna kick on. And you like start getting a little warm inside. So there we go. And hadn't seen one yet in person, but very nice. I mean, the rainbow foils are great, but this gold foil looks outstanding. Great job on these this year by Topps. Much better than last year. That was a little soft last year. There we go. We got a number card to 2021. So this is a actual gold. Old timey Edmund. 86 style with Mr. Verlander. And a small hat. I wonder if he gets those hat on small purposely. If anybody else noticed that he's got that small hat going? Hang on real quick, guys. I'm going to open the crack a window here or something. There we go. I got that top light. It always hits the glare there. Okay. Senior Goldschmidt. Now I got the glare from this one, which we need to move up and over. There you go. I got to get, yeah, actually, that's a perfect angle. I can see everything and picking up no glare. A little bit there. There's Kyle Lewis, Rookie Cup. Excuse me. So have you guys actually Series 1 is about the only product you've actually been able to actually get here in Houston. It's I don't know how the other markets have been affected by the flippers, but Houston has been just brutalized. I mean, I'll go on the weekend I'll go twice a day just to check a couple spot checks on the weekdays, and just nothing. It's pretty amazing what's happened. I guess I'll leave it there. Pretty amazing what's happened. And I apologize for the lateness. Like I said, I really wasn't expecting any viewers because I just posted it late, but we'll try to get a little bit more of these. We had the Saturday night special scheduled to go live, a couple different events, and then the software crashed, and then gosh, the pandemic stuff got heavy. Had a couple emergencies there at work with important people that actually got COVID, and then the ice storm came. It's been rough run out here in Houston this year, but hoping to get all this behind us and get back to normalcy. I would like to get on a schedule, probably at least once a month, a live type of show to where we can talk about the hobby, right? Do a little Q&A. I know that there are some people still trying to get into the hobby, which I think is fantastic. It's going to be a little tough to enter in terms of the capital it's going to take to get into it, just as a everyday collector, if you're looking to get into it in terms of a business, right, of selling cards or moving boxes out to grow them. Great for rookies, right in a row. But you can do it, and like I said, it's just one of the things you have to be quite smart about in terms of where you're putting your money and expecting. If you are going to be grading, I get it. There's now a premium to it, but with that premium that you're going to pay comes a premium that you will gain in terms of the selling market. And there's going to be a curve in that too, which is going to be interesting when that does happen, right? Where we at here? 50 minutes past the hour, so cool. We're on time. So let's talk. I guess we're 15 minutes in it. We may not have anybody that catches up here live, but anyway, you'll get to hear the commentary. So It's a graded card that's 2018 or newer. It's basically going to cost you $25. So you get a card. It's a solid rookie. You know, it's someone where the market has got a strong secondary value. Do you grade it? I still think the answer is yes. Only because if you're looking to gain premium, value for the card, it has to be graded. You can sell them raw, and you still see some raw. There's our first autograph there. Mark Mathias, Milwaukee Brewers, 7 years of baseball. Interesting, all gray. So yes, I think yes. So basically, that's what we're going to do. Now, the expense up front is going to be costly to you, right? Especially relatively new getting into the market, because you're going to have to pay the upfront money, especially if you're going to go with SGC, because SGC you have to pay upfront. PSA you don't pay until your order's ready, but that could be, there's a nice gold 70 years Altuve. I say it's gold, may not be gold, but it's gold border anyway. It's kind of weird because most of these are kind of like after your card, or maybe that was a set like in the 2012 or something like that. I'm not picking up, but gosh, I lost my train of thought there. What I was saying. Good gravy. What was I saying? What was I saying? It'll come to me. Just give me a second. So yes, so you're gonna have to wait, obviously, to gain your return on that card. But since you paid basically you're paying 400% of what it cost to grade a card a year ago, the market has increased by at least 400% in that mark. So the same return percentage-wise you will get back. But the key is the upfront costs, or the upfront capital that you have to keep that's going to be held, because you're going to that card's gone, right? You don't have any return income coming in because the card's gone. So you may have a dry period for yourself. Now for us here at Big League, and for many others, right, guys that have continually submitted, right, Elite Code 3 and Mike O, and people, like I said, been involved in the hobby for a little bit, that never really stopped. So what it's done is, like right now, I think we have about 450 to 550 cards that are outstanding orders with PSA. They were submitted under the old grading, and in two cases, the old grading system, right? So the cost was relatively inexpensive compared to what they are now. But when those cards come back, we're still going to get the new premium that's been created, right? And I'll get to that point too. So now it's created a super premium almost, if you will. So a PSA graded card, PSA 10, that was, say, maybe running $50 now, well, it's probably about 65 to 70 now. Same card, only because it's going to cost you 25 to grade it. So the minimum cost, right, to break the old break even used to be like 10, $11. Well, now it's $25. So whatever that card was, expect to pay more. It doesn't matter who it was. And so, like I said, we paid at the old grading prices, but when the cards come back, the prices will be escalated for those cards with the new, quote, super premium. So we'll have a gain on that. So from that extra gain, us at Big League, it's not actually going to be that big of a deal to absorb the extra cost to still submit 100 cards or 50 cards or 30 cards or whatever at the super premium price. Whereas if you don't have any cards out, right, you're just going to have to pay that, boom. Now you'll get the return, but you're going to pay more than, quote, percentage-wise than, like I said, than we are here, because you don't have any existing orders. So that's why somebody getting into the hobby brand new, it's going to have a bigger impact on them. Like I said, for us, we've just seen everything increase, right? In terms of what the secondary market is doing. So it was just a matter of time before the cost, right, PSA, SGC, that they fell in accordance with that. I'm actually surprised it actually took this long that they did it. Now, I think they did it maybe for the right reasons. Well, SGC did. You saw the long explanation they had on their website there. Decent explanation, and I appreciate them going to the detail. It's kind of long, drawn out before they got to, but we're getting rid of the prices. It would have been nice to see a group like SGC step up and say, look, we know that we could be getting this, but we're going to tier it, right? We're going to get to 25, but for the next 30 days, it's going to be this, the next 60, the next 90. I just think that would be I think it would be a very popular way to go, and a way not to lose some trust or face by the everyday consumer. I think on the Facebook page you saw many of the comments there, which was, yeah, thanks, but blah, right? So there was some lost trust there, and you had people flat out saying, now I'm out, I can't grade anymore, which is disappointing. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of people, but like I said, there is going to be a shift in the market, which will cause prices to come back down. The key is time. Time. How long will that take, right? Because everybody, it's at $25 now. Okay, basically for any card, 2018 or newer. So a lot of people are going to be submitting a lot less, or not submitting at all. So you'll see the number of cards being submitted decrease. I think at least between 15 to 20%. You will see that happen. So what that does is create so what's going to happen is now that backlog for PSA SGC is going to fall. So they're like, oh, we have this backlog at X amount of cards. Well, that's going to fall, right? Now you increase your prices, so you will see the overall income level, total income, probably stay at a decent level. But the way projections usually run with budgeting, they line this stuff out, right? So now what's going to happen is eventually there's going to be no backlog for either one. And they're going to have a bunch of employees. Hey, go check that out. Little Bo Bichette auto through the years. Oh, it's not auto. This is the through the years snapshot of the auto. I'm like, what is this? So sorry, it caught me off guard there. Interesting. But so what's going to happen is then the competition is going to come back. Well, crap. How do we get more people to submit? Well, only way to get that is to start lowering your prices again. So prices will actually fall in terms of getting graded. The key is how long are you going to wait? How long do you want to sit it out? If you're an everyday collector and you collect strictly for PC, I say just wait. Don't submit anything to get graded. Wait that 6 months, a year, 18 months, even 2 years. You have your cards. You know generally what will be a high grade. And if you want to slab it just to keep it safe and for you and your future and your children or whoever, then fine, just wait. And then as prices come back down, then submit them, because that will happen. Now, how much? I can't tell you, right? It may go from 25 to 20, may go from 25 to 22 or 21, right? The market will bear that again. But you're going to see this spike, and then in terms of volume, and then up, and then it'll come back down, then it'll trough, and then the lower prices, then it'll come back up again. And we'll see. And I do expect somebody else to come into the game in terms of another grading company that can be trusted, right? Obviously, there's Beckett, PSA, and SGC, and there's a couple other smaller ones. Actually, here at Big League, we've been discussing about creating. There's a nice Lewis Robert, a pre-grading, which it's actually we've had that in our business plan for about the last year and a half. It's just that, man, things got so wild here recently, especially here in Houston and COVID and everything else, that we've just put kind of all the secondary plans on hold. And what we were going to do was create a pre-grading service, which would be anywhere. Last year we were talking about as cheap as $1 a card, $2 a card. So, and keep it at a very low, low maximum, meaning, hey, you can submit 20 cards. That's $40. What we're going to do is pre-grade them, send those back to you with our grade, and you'll be able to, kind of click a couple categories, which would be look. And what it is, it's going to help the person that may not have that eye or the talent or the experience that we have, which is we've been grading for 3 to 4 years now, thousands of cards a year, and we're clicking at a pretty high rate in terms of, I think the last PSA order we did, or SGC, which is we don't spend anything that at this point that's going to be a 9 unless it's vintage or super vintage or like a Tom Brady rookie, which we know, hey, we're going to take our chances there and take what we got. But I think last order we got, there was nothing that was not graded, meaning because you can mark everything minimum grade 9, and they all come back because we know what we're looking for. And we know it very well. We've come to know the sets very well, what to look for and how to grade those and how they grade. So basically it eliminates a large percentage of risk for you, right? Which if you're, like I said, if you don't have that eye, don't have the tools, right? Obviously we have a number of tools here in terms of optics, lights, different lighting, different magnifiers to look at cards in super detail, where it's very easy for us to pick up smaller things that you with a handheld magnifying glass or even a loop would not be able to see, and different lighting too, different colors, you can see different things. So we're able to pick those up and go. So what we'd be able to do is basically send you a report, which would be included in the service of, here would be your pre-grade, right? If you send it to PSA or send it to SGC, and here's why. And if you want us to clean the card, that'll be an option too. Obviously paper cards are off that list. Foil cards don't include it. It's a chrome card, right? Chromium card, so anything Topps Chrome, Bowman Chrome, Optic We do have special type of, not special, right? It's a really over-the-counter stuff, but there's different products that we use for different cards we found to be the most effective. And like I said, for Bowman, there's a certain wax that works extremely well that does not work on optic cards. We found that out, and we know what they are. We're not necessarily looking to keep it secret, but I think that in terms of, one, for different trademarks, we can't necessarily show it on TV and not expect someone to say, hey, we gotta kick us over a couple fossils now because you mentioned our product. Just not looking into that, but it's something that obviously we can do here. And then obviously our commitment to you is that, hey, we will be within 10% accuracy, meaning if you send us 10 cards and we say, hey, these 10 cards are going to be PSA 10s, you can expect us to miss one out of that. I think that's fair. And I think that's a very high commitment in terms of what we're able to do if we go that route. Like, we're still talking, looking, thinking about it, and how would we limit it? The only thing we are afraid of is that there actually would be too many. There would be an influx of people. Hey, I want the pre-grading done, please. And before you know it, we've got 4,000 cards waiting at the doorstep, and we don't have the personnel to meet that commitment. And for me starting Big League about 3.5 years ago now, it's all been about the hobby and the commitment. And I don't want to create a PSA situation where there's people waiting 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. I don't want that, right? I want it literally to be a 10 to 2 week turnaround. The cards come in, we do the pre-grade, get them back to you, and then you decide what to do with them. So we'll see, right? And I think we may, if we do it, it'll be to a select few, maybe kind of not necessarily a lottery, but maybe some people that, hey, lucky, hey, we've known each other for a while, do these cards, and then we'll showcase them, right? And see, because I would like to do kind of a turnaround period, but the turnaround period is going to be too long for PSA. Maybe an SGC thing that may work okay. So home run challenge, Giancarlo. I gotta figure out where I put the rest of those home run challenge cards. I can't remember now. I got card number 70 here. This is black, no? Yeah, there you go. Little Brandon Nemo black. So that's nice to see. Nice Walker Buehler, looks great in that 86. There you go. Man, that's nice there. 70th of Nolan. Awesome. Love these cards. Of course, I love Nolan. But I don't know. So we'll see. But I think that's something that we're going to highly consider here and talk about probably over the next week. I'm not saying we'll have a decision by the end of next week, but I think that we'll have an idea of what we would like to do and how we would, like to do that. Obviously, line up the platform and how people would pay and register their cards and stuff like that. But you guys tell me what you think, right? Is it worth it to you? If you're going to spend $25 on grading a card, to spend $2 to know that if this card's even going to be a 9 or a 10. And if it isn't, but someone can make it a 9 or a 10 by a cleaning process, is that worth it to you? Or is it not? Does that make any sense? Because what I think it could do is create a sub-level market, meaning, look, yeah, there's slab graded cards, right? But now there's also the secondary market to where big league sports cards can grade their your cards with solid oversight, detailed systems in terms of what we do, detail of what qualifies things, right? Where we start, what's a qualifying point in 10, what brings it down, and how much. No one's done that yet. You haven't seen that. You've never seen a report from SGC, from PSA, of the qualifying report of what brought the card down. You say it's an 8. Well, why? No one gets that. We would supply that, right? But I think that would have to be an additional service because that level of detail and then the follow-up and putting into a report does take time, right? So I think you maybe go from a $2 service to maybe to like a $3 to $4 service, perhaps $5 service, depending on card counts and obviously card value. But I think that there's something there. I know that if I was kind of an early starter, you know what? Do I need to have it in a PSA slab every card? Maybe not. If I can get this stack of cards done and know, or have a very good feeling, or someone's going to tell me, hey, within 90% confidence that, hey, if you do send these cards, they will come back at the grade that we pre-qualified it at. I don't know. I think that would be something I definitely would think about. So I don't know. But anyway, that's what we've been working on here lately and talking about. And we will see what happens. But I'll definitely like to give an update next weekend of kind of where we're at. Like I said, how it would work, how it could work. We know how it could work, but getting it set up to where of trying to avoid the only thing that we don't want to happen, which is basically too many submissions that we can't keep up with. I hate to just do it and then cancel it. But I would do that first before continuing to take orders and orders and orders just for the top line dollar. That's not what it's about for me. Do it for the fans. Do it for the cutouts. I love that card. That's cool. You got it in the rainbow foil. Roberto Clemente. Ooh, what is this one? This is number 299. I guess because it's a black parallel. Yeah, thinking, man, that's a cool looking card though. Anything Roberto Clemente is awesome. I love it. That one's cool too. The Tony Gwynn, that's awesome. Man, anyway, I've been talking a lot here, which is good though. This is kind of what we're doing. I haven't even been looking up to kind of see if anybody said anything, but I think we're going to just be a recorded live episode here, which is fine. Like I said, I posted it today. I wasn't expecting a bunch of people to come on. What was I saying? Elbows only. So yeah, sit it out. If you're all about PCs, you know, and you don't irritated by the price, just wait it out because it will come back down. Now, let's talk about PSA compared to SGC. From what I have seen, based on my level of expertise and grading at a very high rate of accuracy, extremely high rate, the truth is, and I don't know, some people maybe don't want to admit it, some people have talked about it, SGC is the most consistent grading company that I've seen. Meaning, a 10, based on criteria, right, will be more likely a 10 consistently through SGC than PSA. PSA has misses, meaning if you go take the one card, submit it 10 times in a row, one time that card's going to come back at a lower grade than it should be, if nothing changed in the card. And that has to do with they must have something going on in their training practices or daily, or their checklist and that they don't follow up consistently with, meaning, hey, everybody look at this card, grade it, put your notes down, and let's see what everybody got. And everybody should be within a non-qualifying point adjustment of accuracy, meaning there's not enough difference to move it up or down a point. Everybody should be within that realm, if that makes sense to you. I hope it does. That's the way it should be, but it's not like that, right? Whoa, that's pretty cool. MLB Spring Training Javier Baez. That's a big old patch there. Hang on real quick. The gold there of Aquino. That's nice. Congratulations. Guys, why is this off center on the back? Oh, I guess, is that, man, I mean, the back is awful. Cap logo patch. Look at that. But not as bad in the front. But it looks like it may be supposed to be like that. But the back is, man, I gotta look see that's back. But that is a really, that's the whole, I guess maybe they're all like that. Yeah, they're all like that. We're freaking about it or nothing, right? They're all like that. There's the die cut. Old die cut. What was I saying? What were we talking about? Boy, oh boy. Sorry, guys. Lost my complete train of thought. That thing caught me off guard. There's a Vlad Jr. What were we talking about? My goodness. I'm going to look at that card again. The only thing I haven't been talking about looking at cards is looking for short prints. I'm going to look at this whole stack again. We were talking about, consistency, right? Consistency, yes. So you will, I've got two cards over there I'm going to crack open that when I submitted, of course, we're thinking 9 or above. One was a purple Soto. It comes back an 8. And I'm looking at the card through the slab, front and back. There's nothing on that card that would bring it down to an 8 that is visible. Now, crack it open. We might be able to see some surface issues that are deep or well hidden. But if you can't see it through the slab, it should not be an 8. That's kind of the bottom line there. If it's non-noticeable through the slab, cornering, chipping, dents, ripples, dimples, miscolor, cuts, scuffs, anything, then no, it should not. You should not lose 2 full points of consisting in terms of how good the card is. It should not be that way. That has been the issue for me with PSA. I've gotten cards as low as a 7 to where you're like, what are you talking about? I looked at this card, the same processes that I had the other ones. We're not going to miss something that big, and most people aren't. So that's, maybe you guys have seen the same thing. I know you have, because I watched your videos and I've seen the feedback. There's the gold of Chadwick Trump. And that's the one thing that's disappointing, right? And I haven't seen that with SGC. Very, very. There's a nice Orion mount castle. Actually, that was real nice. That's cool. The card looks fantastic like that. And the thing freaks me out again. These stupid little things. Oh, I'm like, thank you, no, I don't know. But yeah. So SGC is the most consistent. Now, obviously, secondary market has the price cut up. It hasn't. It'll be interesting to see here now if SGC can make their commitment to turnaround times, which they say they can. What happens with the secondary market in terms of value with SGC? Does that increase because now maybe more people turn to SGC? I don't know. And depending on the card, right? I have had some SGC cards that have been as close as to 95%, a 10 versus a 10. I've seen the 9.5s, 9.5s in terms of pricing create a higher value or be a more valuable card than a PSA 9 on certain cards, not all cards. But the 9 for 9 comparison is probably the biggest gap. It just people aren't looking for SGC 9s. They will not pay that premium that exists right now for PSA 9. Not there. 9.5, there's an argument on certain cards. 10s, you can be. A couple cards. I get it depends on the card. But obviously there is the gap. Everybody knows that there is the gap. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Who was our auto? Can't remember now. A nice Jordan. Second year. I don't know why his rookie cup doesn't come over to second year, or you see so many other guys carry over. What is the rule for the rookie cup anyway? I swear there's been like a couple players that are like it's their third year and they're still in the rookie cup. What is that? I think I looked at it before and I guess I never figured it out. But I'm sure someone can explain that to me. Like I said, I'm 35 years in the hobby, but I don't know everything. I really can't. Hoon Silver. There's Brandon Lowe. That's a little relic there. Barry Larkin. Cool looking. Looks really cool. Never seen that picture. Reggie, 70th year. Nice. What else is there? Taste topic is like grading. I think that's about it. Oh, Beckett. So Beckett is a group that we've never used. I'm not saying that, and we looked into. We were going to start going through Beckett probably about a good 18 months ago to 2 years ago, and just the turnaround times were brutal. They were worse than PSA was now. Some people were waiting over a year. I was like, you know what? There's no way I'm waiting that long. I'm waiting long enough. So for us, it was a complete turnoff. We just stopped. And I don't like the slab. I mean, how many Beckett slabs have you seen right now where the little thing's falling off on the inside? It's too thick, too heavy. I don't know. It's not appealing at all. I think the most appealing right now actually is the SGC slab. I do like the effectiveness of the PSA slab. I think it's the most hardy. There's nice pache. I think it's the most scratch resistant. So I do like the overall hardness and quality of the product in terms of the slab. But in terms of eye appeal, I just think the SGC one looks the best. Not all cards, right? Some cards look a little awkward in the black, but most of them look pretty good. Garcia. Fantastic set. Really looking forward to baseball this year. Last year was very awkward with COVID and just, like I said, I get it. There's a ton of John Lester negative around blue, I guess, with the Astros, right? My home team. I understand that, and deservingly so. But you hate to say, like I said, I'm not saying that they didn't deserve the heat or the talk or whatever, but I don't know. I get it. They did what they did, and the result, like I said, it produced a world championship. I don't think it was due to what they did. I think if they play, the Yankees again in that ALCS or the Dodgers again in that World Series, I think they still win it. They played it over and over again. I just think there was too much talent on that team, and like I said, you got those guys here that live in this community. They're vested. they were scrutinized very toughly here, to be quite honest. So when somebody comes out and say, look, here's what we did and here's what we didn't do, I do believe them. And it's not because I want to be a homer, because I want to, but it just in terms of what you see and what you hear, that makes sense. But anyway, like I said, that's all behind them right now. And the last year for them to make the World Series without Justin Verlander, man, it was crazy. But you saw the fire there. There's fire. And when you got guys like Carlos Correa and Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman coming back to lead that team, along with some new young big guns, yeah, it's exciting. So I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Verlander can stay healthy. See what we can do in terms of the pitching staff of solidifying that. I don't think that was a big key, right? I don't even know, but all I wanted was to get Charlie Morton back. Now, if we keep Charlie Morton in that rotation the last 2 years, it's over. You know, we were in like 3 or 4 in a row. Kind of crazy how that worked out. And gosh, they could have got him for so much of a discount. When I say discount, I don't really mean a discount, but in terms of signing him versus kind of what we spent on the free agent market. And all they had to do is just re-sign him. But, hey, that's the way it goes down sometimes. All right, guys, that's the break. Thanks for y'all for watching. Hope you have a good night. Hope you enjoyed the Q&A, or at least the discussion. I really wanted Q&A because, like I said, I posted it so late and I want to get a chance to ask anything. But hope you enjoyed the commentary. Any questions, let me know.